Hello, movie lovers. Bob for Bob's movie review here, and I'd like to review for you a movie I just watched called Pretending I'm Superman, the Tony Hawk video game story. This one is available now on digital from Wit Entertainment and was sent to me free for review. Now, this is a documentary with a 1 hour and 13-minute runtime. It's directed by Ludvig Gur and stars Tony Hawk, Steve Caballero, Rodney Mullen, Chad Muska, Jamie Thomas, Aaron Snyder, Scott Pease, and Mick West. This thing is just full of mainly professional skateboarders, and then some people I think that were involved with the video game, and then just kind of some probably more unknown people, but mostly it's professional skateboarders. So this is the documentary about the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater video game franchise, skateboarding, and to me, I thought it would be more about just the game. Maybe how the game came about, and that would be the majority of it. And the first 20 minutes of the hour and 13 minutes is all about the rise of the fame of skateboarding and its ups and downs and what was going on in the world of skateboarding. Although I don't think they just really went into super detail or anything. It was just a kind of a brief overview leading up, I believe, into the 90s. And then it does cover somebody had approached Tony Hawk about creating a game. I don't believe it was the actual Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but then he was kind of in this whole thing where they're going to make a game and somebody's going to make a game, and then they're pitching to him, and eventually he ended up with Neversoft and the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise. And I would say not about to the hour mark, most of it is detailing the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater franchise, and the very end, again, doesn't really have anything to do with the game as much. So very short documentary, and only 40 minutes or so dealing with the actual game it's based on. Now to me, I was a big Tony Hawk's Pro Skater fan. I don't remember if I got into it on the first one or the second one. It was so long ago now, it's hard to remember. But I remember playing these things like crazy. 1 and 2, they're so good. And I love they started this documentary with a song from Mullen. It was a band that I always really liked, and they were in one of the games in the schoolyard level. I can't remember which one it was from now. It's been so long. But it was just cool. They started with that. I just recognized the song right off the bat. And they even do actually go into kind of the music and its influence in the game. And so they kind of go into, how the first one was developed and why Tony Hawk liked it and how it became like this real popular game, and it was like this phenomenon because you didn't have to really necessarily be like super interested in skateboarding. It was just kind of this fun game, and I liked the way they had all the goals and the levels, and there was all this kind of stuff you could do that made it so much fun. And I remember because you could play as different characters, unlock new characters, and you just get like super into it. And I got to like where I could just finish the first level in one run all the time. And the game kind of progressed, and I think they improved a lot with Tony Hawk 2. I don't know why, but I never got Tony Hawk 3. I had a friend who had it, and I played it a little. It was a little more arcadey style, and then I think I did get 4. And then they went into the Tony Hawk's Underground. But even probably starting at 3, I mean, they went into 1 a lot. They went into 2 a little. Then 3, they barely mentioned. And 4, I think they just said the name. They didn't really mention the game at all. And then they mentioned Underground, which Tony Hawk Underground was just kind of like almost like a spin-off. And it was just real super over-the-top arcadey. And you're just doing all this silly stuff. And they didn't even mention 2, and then they kind of just skimmed over everything to the one with the plastic skateboard. And basically they didn't get into any of the other games other than just mentioning how the skateboard didn't work. And to me, I would have liked to have seen a lot more history of the games and more in-depth information about the evolution of the games and kind of what they changed and what didn't work and what did work. And they didn't really talk about any of the remakes like the Tony Hawk 2X or the PC remake of the Tony Hawk, which I don't know, people like complain, I guess, about the controls on that one. I do have that one, and I did notice that it's really hard to control. So I just wish they had gone more into the games and less into the history of skateboarding and the pro skaters who are involved with that, kind of their experiences, and been more about the games and less about the skateboarding. I've always been interested in skateboarding, and when I was a young man, I liked to skateboard, but that was many years ago. And I love the games, and I just wish they had focused a little more on the games. Like I said, 40 minutes out of an hour and 20 minutes to talk about, I don't even know how many Tony Hawk games there's been, like 8 or 9. It just, to me, it focused a little in the wrong area. I still found it very interesting, and I definitely love the games, and I don't know if I'll ever play any of them again. I guess there's a Tony Hawk 5. I never even heard of it, but it was a very interesting documentary. And like I say, it has a lot more of the leading up to the creation of the game and the history of skateboarding, and a couple of the pro skaters, kind of their experiences with the game. Of course, it does have quite a bit of Tony Hawk in it, but even there's long portions without Tony Hawk. And it's definitely an interesting documentary, and I enjoyed it. I don't want to give off the idea that I didn't enjoy it. It just wasn't quite focused how I would have liked it myself, more of a history of the video games and such. But definitely worth checking out. If you guys weren't into the game, I don't know if there would be a lot in this for you. If you're interested in skateboarding, then yeah, it does have a little bit of a history lesson in skateboarding and some of the players who were involved. But I feel like people who were into the game would definitely enjoy this one. I think the first one came out in 99 or something like that, and so I was like in high school, and I remember they kind of got this real whole extreme sports game thing going on. Like, they had the surfing and the skateboarding and the snowboarding, and did I say surfboarding? I don't know. And they had the biking, and they had all those games. I played the heck out of those games, and I always found it to be so much fun. And to me, it's just like, I guess, a nostalgia thing from my younger days. But I think I'm gonna give this a documentary a 4 out of 5. I think documentaries, as far as rating, are so subjective to the viewer. If it's content you're interested in, not necessarily whether or not the production is good or not. It's more about the content and whether or not you're interested in the content. So like I say, Tony Hawk's pro skater fans, or even just skateboarding fans in general, I think there's plenty in this to keep you entertained and plenty of interesting information in it. But if you're looking for like the complete history of the Tony Hawk pro skater franchise, I feel like this is lacking. And to me too, like, if it was just supposed to be on the first game, like, why bring up all the other games? You know what I mean? It was kind of in between. It didn't really lock down the history of the franchise, but it also didn't just focus on the first one solely. And they could have easily spent that extra 45 minutes that they spent talking about other stuff, spent that on the other games. But I'd love to know if you guys are fans of the franchise, if you played any of the games. Like, maybe you were a little later and you grew up during Project 8, or the plastic, what do they have, like Ride and Shred and whatever. I don't even know. I never played any of those. I think Project 8 was probably the last one I played. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you haven't already, subscribe for more videos, check out the suggested videos, and for more movie news, check out my website, bobsmoviereview.com. And I'll see you guys next time.